How to find domain and range from graph. We have a lot of examples in this playlist. Well, this one is kind of an interactive test with you, right? So now what I will do is I will sketch a graph and then you tell me what is the domain and range. So for the first one, let me make it very simple, and that is I'll put some points in this, right? So let me just mark some points here, and let us say this is a very simple function. There it goes, right? So the points here are, let's say this value for x is, let us say -2, this value is 3. Now here this y value is, let us say 1, this value is +2, and for this point let this value be 5, the x value, and the y value be -2. Now for this function where I've given you a few points, find domain and range. Now let me sketch another function for you and then find domain and range for that function. Now in this case what I will do is I will make it a set of lines. So if I draw a line from here to here and then say, well, that is how it goes, you need to figure out what is domain and range. Now to give you some reference points, let this be -3, let this be 2 for me, so that is quite helpful to write down domain and range for this function. Okay, so you can write this down. Now I'll take a function which is a kind of piecewise function and not continuous. Okay, so my function now is, let us say I have a straight line going like this, and then from somewhere here I have another line which is going like this upwards. Okay, you need to find domain and range for this function. Here this point given to us is at an x value of, let us say, -1, and this is y value of, let us say, 4. Now you need to find domain and range for this function. And now what I will do is give you one more question, and now in this question I am combining some points with few lines. Okay, so let's say we have a parabola which is kind of like this, and then we have few points here. Let's say these are my 2 points, and then what I have here is from the third point I have a line which is kind of going upwards. So you need to write domain and range for this function. Let us say that the y value here is 2 and the y value there is 3, and the x values are 1, 2 and 3. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Correct? So these are my 4 different functions. Now from these functions you need to figure out what is domain and range. I hope by now you must have written your answers. Now let's review. The first one is set of points, and the best way to write domain range for this is that we just list the x points and the x coordinates and the y coordinates, right? So in this case the domain becomes -2, the x value of 0, x value of 2 and x value of 5. And the range is set of points which is the y values. So y values are 1, 3 and then 0 and -2. So these are my domain range for this kind of function. Now here the domain is real numbers. So when you're connecting the points, then the domain is a real number, set of real numbers. Range also is a set of real numbers, right? So domain here is everything which is greater than -3, right? So in this case, let me use another ink and write down domain as, so here the domain is equal to x belongs to real numbers where x is greater than and equal to, this solid thing means included, greater than equal to -3. Okay, as far as the range is concerned, the range is equal to everything less than equal to 2, right? So y also belongs to set of real numbers where y is less than equals to 2. That is how we can get domain and range for this function. Now let's get to the next one. The next one is kind of tricky. We have a discontinuity in between. Now how to write domain and range for such functions? Now what we should do here is, we can write it in two sets. So we say domain, so we can write domain is, we can write in interval notation also. The domain is towards the left of -1. So we can write, as far as domain is concerned, domain is from -infinity including -1. Let us say this point is included. So -1. So that is a closed bracket. So that's another way interval we can give. And as far as this side is concerned, everything greater than or equal to 0. So union including 0 and up to plus infinity, correct? But infinity is never included. So that's a way to write this, right? We could have written in this form also, saying domain is a set of real numbers so that x is less than equal to -1 union or and x is greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now I'll use the same notation and write down my range. So range here is, now this point I should have written this as, let us say this point is 1. Okay. Now range is greater than equal to 1, I mean less than equal to 1 or greater than equal to 4. So we could say that the range is from -infinity to 1 including 1 union including 4 greater than 4 means up to infinity. So like this we could write domain and range using this interval notation. Okay. Now let me do the last one. Now here, what is the domain? So domain of this function is equals to, we'll use domain as, we can say x belongs to real numbers so that x is on the left side of 0, right? So less than equals to 2, and what? And is equal to, x is also equal to 1, since we have this point, also this point, equals to 1, also equals to 2, right? Sorry, this was x less than equals to 0, right? It's on the left side of origin, or it is equals to 1, or it is equals to 2, or greater than equal to 3. So that is how, when you're given pieces, you can write domain. And range for this function will be y belongs to real numbers so that y is less than equal to 2, right? And then y is equals to 3. Now 3 is also included here, so we can say greater than equal to 3, right? So that gives you the range for this function, right? So there is a discontinuity in between, but that gives you an idea how to write domain and range for functions when they are given in different forms, right? Thank you.